Hi, today we will see probability calculation. In probability calculation, we will come across the terms pass, fail, selection and rejection. Also one tail and two tail. Events can be numbered. Events should be numbered. Then only you can proceed with this probability calculation. Event numbers already exist in the case of marks scored. In certain cases, we have to number it. Like for example, in the case of selection, we number it as 1 and event of rejection are numbered as 0. So selection is numbered as 1 and rejection is numbered as 0. Similarly, pass is numbered as 1 and fail is numbered as 0. Yes events are numbered 1, no events are numbered 0. Now we will see some probabilities. Anything may happen. What is the probability of anything may happen? There are 4 options given here. Certainly the option is 1 because anything is certain to happen. Even if nothing happens, that falls into something happening. Therefore, option A, probability is 1. What is the probability of nothing will happen? There is nothing like nothing will happen because even if nothing happens, something is happening. That means nothing is happening. Therefore, in this case, out of the 4 options, the answer is option B, 0. So probability of nothing will happen is 0. Now here is the distribution. Now what is this distribution? There are 4 options. Normal distribution, mu is 60 and standard deviation is 5. It is not like that because this is not normally distributed. And option B is uniformly distributed, 0 to 100. So possibility is there. Option C, uniformly distributed, 60, 5. It is nothing like 60, 5 is there. The range is more than that. And option D, normal distribution, 0, 1. It is not standard normal distribution. Therefore, option B is correct. Uniform distribution, 0 to 100 is going on. And the probability of each happening is 1 by 100. Now, RK has attended a written examination. Probability of RK scoring dash is 1. Fill up the dash. Option A, 50 to 100. Option B, 0 to 100. Option C, 50 marks. Option D, no marks. So since I have attended the examinations, there must be some mark given to me, 0 to 100. So my scoring 0 or 1 or 2 or 100, each probability 1 by 100 if you take. If you add all the probabilities, it is 1. Therefore, option B, 0 to 100, any mark I can score. So probability is 1 for this option. What is the probability of RK scoring dash is 0. That means no marks. I have to get any 1 mark 0 to 100 because I have attended the examination. Therefore, the probability of getting no marks is 0. Probability of RK scoring dash is close to 0, not exactly 0. So we will see. So I can score even 50.5, so 50.6 like that. Then the probability of scoring any one mark between 0 to 100 is 1 by almost infinity, therefore close to 0. So 1 mark indicated is 50 marks here. Therefore, probability of my scoring 50 marks is 1 by infinity, close to 0. So option C, 50 marks. Please note, probability of getting no marks is 0 here because I have attended the examination. Now here is the data. Here mean is given as 60 and 55 and 65 are shown here. Some values here. Now we'll see one more problem. RK has a class and the class strength is 100. All the 100 students have attended a written examination. Marks are normally distributed with mean mark 60. Average class performance is 60 marks. Standard deviation is given 4 marks. The question is, option A, population standard deviation is plus or minus 4 marks. Option B, sample standard deviation is plus or minus 4 marks. Option C, population mean is 60 marks and population standard deviation is 4 marks. Option C is population mean is 60 marks and sample standard deviation is 4 marks. Which is more correct? Please here, population standard deviation is given here. So maybe right. But option C, population mean is 60 marks. That is also correct. And population standard deviation is 4 marks. So option C is the best correct option. Right? So here, population mean is 60 is okay. But this is not sample standard deviation because all the class strength is considered here. Therefore, the population is the class strength. Okay? And sample standard deviation is 4 marks is not correct because we have considered population. So option C is population mean is 60 marks and population standard deviation is 4 marks is the correct option. We will see one more example. RK's class has a strength of 100 students. All have attended a written examination. The marks are normally distributed. You can see it here. Average performance is 60 marks. Standard deviation is 4 marks. Select a student at random. What is the probability that his score will be less than or equal to 60? There are 4 options given here. You can select the option, best option. You can see here the mean marks is 60. The area to the left is 50%. The area to the right is 50%. Therefore, the probability of scoring less than 60 or equal to 60 is 50%. Therefore, option A is correct. Now, select a student at random. What is the probability that his score will be less than 56? Please note 56 will be to the left of 60. Therefore, area to the left is less than 0.5. Therefore, the option should be less than 0.5, but certainly not 0 because he has to score some mark between 0 to 56. Therefore, option A is not correct. Option B is also not correct. Between option C and D, option D has a value more than 0.5. That means it is incorrect. It should be less than 0.5 because the mark is to the left of 60 and the area to the left is less than 0.5. Therefore, option C is the correct answer. Now we will see how to get the answer to this problem. Select a student at random. What is the probability that his score will be less than 56? So options are given. We have shown that the answer should be 0.16. So here is an Excel template. I have shared this template in the description. Please download it and use this. Now we have to give the mean value and standard deviation. Then the plot is given here. And the value of interest is 56. If you put 56 here, you will get the result in this cell. Result is 15.9% lies below 56. If you put a value above 60, then you will get the result will be so many percentage lies above that value. So if you give a value below the mean, it will give you below, and if you give the value above the mean, it will give you the percentage that lies above the value. Now we will see another example. Select a student at random. What is the probability that his score will be more than 56 and less than 64? So here is the marks. 56 is here and 64 is here. So probability of scoring less than 56 we know 0.16. Probability of scoring more than 64 also we know 0.16. So if you add these two area 0.16 plus 0.16 is 0.32. So the remaining area is 1 less than 0.32, that is 0.68. Therefore option A is correct. Now we are indirectly fixing the values of interest by fixing the alpha value. Instead of fixing this Z, L and ZH, I can fix the area AL and AH. So rejection area alpha value is 0.05. So it is a probability of occurrence of extreme values and beyond. The probability of occurrence of this value and beyond this, probability of occurrence of this value and beyond this. That is what is alpha value. So here P value is AL plus AH. Area for low value of interest plus area for high value of interest. We will take a real life situation and then see how to solve it. Here is a population. Population mean is mu. Population standard deviation is sigma. We have value of interest XL and we have another value of interest XH. We want to find out the probability of occurrence of a value at XL or below, and then we want to find out the probability of occurrence of a value at XH or above XH. So what do? We convert this distribution into standard normal distribution. The two distributions are identical corresponding to XL. ZL is the variable here corresponding to XH. ZH is the variable here. Mu is the mean here. 0 is the mean here. Sigma is the standard deviation. 1 is the standard deviation for this standard normal distribution. So since the distributions are identical, we can take the ratio of XL minus mu by sigma. That should be equal to ZL minus 0 by 1. Because 0 is the mean for this distribution. 1 is the standard deviation for this standard normal distribution. So therefore, we can find out ZL is equal to XL minus mu by sigma. Similarly, for this variable interest, XH minus mu by sigma is equal to ZH minus 0 by 1 because these two areas should be same. So ZH is equal to XH minus mu by sigma. Now we can fix this XL and XH by fixing the area of rejection alpha. So instead of fixing value of interest XL and XH, we can fix the area, probability of occurrence we can fix. So what probability we can reject, we can fix this, and then accordingly we can fix the variable value of interest. Now we will see more examples. You want to recruit a candidate with an average performance. Why average performance? Because poor performer means efficiency will be low. Excellent performer means opportunity for jump will be very high and retention is tough in both the cases. Therefore, you want to reject the candidates with marks greater than 70 and marks less than 30. So you want to select the candidates with marks greater than 30 and less than 70. So you cannot say reject the candidate with marks less than 30 and greater than 70 here. You cannot write like this because no mark will fit in this. If you select a mark less than 30, this will be definitely less than 70 also. It cannot be greater than 70. Therefore, only this is possible. Therefore, marks less than 30 and greater than 70 is impossible. Hence, what we do is we fix the area value, that is p value. So you reject the candidates with p value 0.05. What do you mean by p value 0.05? That is the left extreme area and right extreme area together is 0.05. Now we will see more on the fixing the area. Now here is a probability distribution. Now it is a real life distribution with mean mu and standard deviation sigma, and value of interest is XL and XH. Or we can convert this into standard normal distribution with mean 0 and variable of interest minus ZL and plus ZH. Please note XL minus mu by sigma will be a negative value, therefore I have used negative sign here. We fix XL by fixing the area of rejection alpha. We can fix this area and fix this indirectly. And we can also fix this ZH indirectly by fixing this area of rejection. So we fix XH by fixing the area of rejection alpha. So we can fix both the values of interest by fixing the area of rejection together. That is, XL and XH can be fixed by fixing the area of rejection alpha, the total area of AL and AH. So far we have seen what is p value and how to fix p value, thereby fixing the values of interest, and that is called alpha value. P value fixed beforehand is called alpha value, and it is fixed as 0.03 or 0.05. Thank you very much for watching.